Hello and welcome to this video presentation, 6 Steps to a Better Business. If you own a business that's doing pretty well but you wish it could deliver more to you and your family, then this short presentation will show you what to do about it. My name is Gareth Shackleton and I'm a certified business coach with ActionCOACH, the world's #1 business coaching organisation. And I specialise in helping the owners of small and medium-sized business throughout the northeastern Cumbria to grow and develop their businesses so that they deliver more money in the shape of profits, more time to enjoy those profits, and a more motivated team to run the business. Now there's a specific problem with many businesses that I come across and work with that I'd like to deal with in this presentation. A problem that's holding those businesses back through no fault of the owners and stopping them from achieving their full potential. I'll show you the 6 steps to overcome this problem, and at the end of the presentation I'll explain the best way to go about implementing those 6 steps in your business. So let's start with a bit of background. In the E-Myth, Michael Gerber explains that there is a common misconception, the E-Myth, that businesses are started and run by entrepreneurs. Actually, most businesses are started by experts, specialists in their chosen field, what Gerber calls technicians. These are the solicitors, the lawyers, hairdressers, engineers, mechanics, accountants, dentists, web designers and computer programmers, plumbers, electricians, joiners, builders, butchers, bakers, architects, scientists, and the list goes on. But it takes 3 personalities to start and run a business with different skills and abilities and aptitudes. And we need the technician to take care of the operational side of things, but we also need the forward-thinking dreamer, the entrepreneur, to take care of the strategy and creative aspects of marketing, sales and customer relationships. And we need a third personality, the manager, to take care of the finances, systems, planning and control of the business. And therein lies the problem. In an owner-operated business, at least to start with, the owner has to be all 3, at least until they can employ others to take on those roles. Now, technician-oriented businesses can and do operate very well in good times when there are loads of customers buying and money is flowing well. But as Warren Buffett said after the recession hit in 2007-2008, when the tide goes out, you can see who's been swimming without a costume. In other words, businesses fail because they are out of balance. If the operational aspects of a business are far stronger than the other aspects, then it can be hard to find enough work when the phone doesn't ring of its own accord. And if the financial systems aren't robust enough, then cash flow can quickly become an issue under these circumstances. My colleagues and I see this every day. Businesses struggling in the current climate because they're out of balance, usually, again, through no fault of their own. The problem is that our educational system creates specialists to become employees. We have an educational system born out of the Industrial Revolution to supply the needs of industrialists for skilled workers. So we leave education prepared for employment, but unprepared for business ownership. And it's no coincidence then that many of the most successful entrepreneurs didn't do all that well at school. At some point in our employment, we become the expert. And we come to the realization that we can do better on our own. So we give up working for the idiot who calls himself the boss and start working for a lunatic ourselves. Why a lunatic? Well, because we're unprepared for business ownership with a lack of knowledge in all areas of business, this lunacy results in nearly 80% of businesses failing in their first 5 years. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. The same proportion of those that survive will fail in the next 5 years, leaving less than 15% of businesses to reach their 10th anniversary. And less than half of those that do survive to their 10th anniversary will be making a predictable profit at that point. The stress of broken relationships and loss of wealth associated with that is lunacy. The question is, can we reduce the probability that your business will fail in the next 5 or 10 years so that you have a better chance of moving on to true business ownership? To answer this question, first let's look at what I mean by true business ownership and why we should endeavour to achieve it. So, in the words of Simon Sinek, let's start with why. In Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki discusses how the cash flow of the wealthy differs from that of the poor and the middle class. He explains what the wealthy do that's different to the rest and how it concerns business. So the cash flow of the poor is that they spend everything that they earn on day-to-day living, on food, on accommodation, on keeping warm, on lighting, the basics. The middle classes, on the other hand, deluded in their apparent wealth, spend their disposable income on trinkets. In other words, liabilities that end up costing them money. We buy cars, and we buy progressively more expensive cars every few years. We buy gadgets and toys and jewellery and houses bigger than we need to live in. Yes, even the house that we live in is a liability when you consider the huge cost of the mortgage and the maintenance compared to the future value of the property. The wealthy have a different cash flow. They buy assets to generate income that they then use to live on and buy liabilities with. Their assets include businesses, property, stocks and shares, commodities and other asset classes. But almost without exception, the wealthy own businesses. They don't work in those businesses, but they do own them. Why? They own them to generate excess profits with which to buy other assets that also create an income. Because businesses offer the greatest potential return on investment of any of these asset classes. If you own a true business, then the value of that business can be several times the net profit. So imagine in a single year making a net profit from a business and then selling it for 2, 3, 5 or even 10 times the net profit you just made. Would that be the most profitable year you've ever had? Take a look at your business from this viewpoint and start to think about how your life and work would be different if you owned your business instead of working in it. It is possible if you own a true business. So what do I mean by a true business? At ActionCOACH we use the following definition of a true business. A true business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you, the business owner, having to be there. Commercial in that it involves selling something. Profitable in that it implicitly involves making a profit from that activity, not a loss as many businesses seem to do. And that works without you in that you have a team of people you can trust to run the business for you. So how do I build that, you might ask? This is where the 6 steps come in. Now it depends on where you already are in your business, but let's start with mastery. And as we go through this, give yourself a score out of 10 at each step based on how well you think you're doing in each area. We're going to end up with a score out of 50 in total from mastery, niche, leverage, team and synergy. So mastery. Do you have an up-to-date working business plan in place? Do you operate a comprehensive financial management system? Do you have consistent customer service? And last but not least, do you have time management systems that maximize the use of your time as the owner as well as the time of your business? With these things in place, we take a business from chaos to control. So score yourself out of 10 in this area overall. Next we move to niche, which involves marketing strategy, marketing plans, sales, managing customer relationships, and managing the profitability of the business to generate predictable cash flow. Niche is all about not having to compete on price in order to maximize the profitability of your business. So score yourself out of 10 on your ability to compete without having to offer discounts and on the profitability of your business. Step 3 involves implementing systems and technology into the business that automate the processes developed in the first 2 steps and allow them to be delegated to others in the business or outside of the business. So score yourself out of 10 on your level of automation and your ability to delegate all aspects of your business. Step 4 is about developing your team management and leadership, to allow the team to run the systems that make the business work efficiently. At this stage, we implement the 6 keys to a winning team, as well as the procedures necessary to manage the human resources of a business. So score yourself out of 10 on team management, leadership, and human resources policies and procedures in your business. Next, we turn to continuous improvement in synergy and installing a general manager, which ultimately creates the freedom for you to repeat the business building process in other businesses and buy other wealth generating assets. So score yourself out of 10 on your ability to step back from the business completely and allow it to run itself. So now you should have a score out of 50 for each of the first 5 steps shown here in the 6 steps. So what score did you give yourself? Hold on to that number, because we're going to come back to it in a moment. Now, this system has been tried and tested in hundreds of thousands of businesses worldwide, taking businesses that are out of balance and rebalancing them, and taking owner-operated businesses and turning the business owners into true business owners. And at this stage, you can think of the business as being a self-contained entity, a business in a box, with a team of people running all the different aspects of the business. And your role as the builder of the box is to make sure that it does indeed generate the excess profits required to invest in buying other businesses, property, stocks and shares, commodities and other asset classes, so that you can climb the next step on the ladder from business owner to investor and entrepreneur. Hopefully a wealthy entrepreneur who can give something back to the community. Now, I promised at the start that I would explain the best way to go about implementing this 6-step process in your business. So what I recommend is this. If you own a business in the northeastern Cumbria and your score was less than 40, get in touch with me to see if you qualify for a free business diagnostic session, where I'll spend up to 90 minutes with you to get you started straight away on climbing the 6 steps to a better business at no cost or obligation to yourself. Now, if you don't qualify, don't worry, I'll still point you in the right direction with some advice and resources relevant to your situation. So do please get in touch. I'd love to help you if I can. So I hope this short presentation has changed the way you look at your business and given you loads of ideas to create a true business. So now it's time to get into action.